Okay, I've gotten some questions about this biped rig and some of the changes it's gone through. Um, One of the most major ones, people are curious about how to get to the root pose. It's no longer keyed down here on the timeline. It's actually a stored action pose, which can be used at any time, and then you would just keyframe whatever frames you want at the beginning of your animation to set that root pose. And another major thing that'll help you get there is I added a synoptic view editor, and you can reach that just by selecting any object in the rig and then just hit the F3 button, and it pulls up this synoptic view page, which is essentially just a HTML file that lets you pick and choose a lot of objects on the rig, as well as toggling certain things. You can set keyframes, you can reset the rig, or just whatever object is selected, like so. But here you'll find your root pose, and if you click on it, it'll set the character to the root pose. And then if you just hit key all on that current frame, it will set the root pose right there. And you can just do that once you're done making your animation, making it a lot easier than it was before than being a pre-keyed just set in one spot on the timeline. You've also got some things to toggle the sabers on and off, so that if you want to make some saber moves, these pretty much act as controllers. By selecting the hilt and moving that will, of course, move the saber in game in your animation. It pretty much controls that. You've also got some controls for the hands here. Let me turn this off. And the hand controls will pretty much let you, you got a couple of preset poses that I added, just ones that I thought would be common. You've also got your keyed selection keyed all, just like with the main rig. You can pick each bone digit individually, and you can also open up these sliders and pretty much move each one manually this way, like if you just need to do some fine tweaking. It's pretty simple to do that. And then if you just want to reset it, your basic root pose for the hands is pretty much that relaxed setting. Another change you'll probably notice is there's no longer rings here to control the roll division in the arms and the thighs. And that is because I set expressions so that when you rotate, say this hand controller for instance, it rotates that roll division at a 50% value of whatever you rotate this to, making it pretty much twist the arm pretty much seamlessly for the most part. It's highly unlikely you'd have to go back in and do any sort of tweaking. It 50% by itself would do a pretty good job. So it kind of cleans that up a lot more and makes things a little faster and a little easier. And that is pretty much it as far as some of the major changes that were causing some confusion when watching the original video on this. But the synoptic editor should make things a lot easier, especially just for selecting and keying and adding your poses wherever you need to, and also controlling that hands.